My boyfriend's best friend recently came out to him and said he has feelings for him, and now I feel bad because I want my boyfriend to set boundaries with him, as they spend a lot of time together, but I feel like that would be homophobic of me to ask. Posted by you/docs know better than us. My boyfriend, 28M, and I, 32F, have been together for 3 years. He is insanely social, and I am more of a stay-in and do crafts kind of person, but it works. Recently, our schedules have been pretty opposite, and we usually only see each other 3 days a week. He has a best friend, Thomas, 33M, who is recently going through a divorce with a woman and has been spending a lot of time with him. I have always gotten the vibe that Thomas was queer in some form, just by the way he talks about men. He recently came out to my boyfriend and told him it is the real reason for his divorce. My boyfriend is very straight and does not really know a lot of gay people, but I have a ton of queer friends and told him to be extra sensitive and treat Thomas like he is no different. When my boyfriend told me about Thomas, I told him that I was proud of him for living his true life, but hopefully the soon-to-be ex-wife is doing okay. They have been spending a lot of time together, and Thomas frequently stays over at his place because he works in the city but lives like 45 minutes away. They work together, so obviously I understood the convenience factor, and I was happy they were having fun. My boyfriend left out a major part of Thomas coming out, in my opinion, that Thomas also said he has had a crush on my boyfriend since they met and has feelings for him. I asked him when he told him that, and he said around a month ago. I know my boyfriend would not cheat, and I am very confident he does not have feelings for men in general. But the thought of someone crushing on him, drinking with him, and sleeping over does not feel great to me. I do not ever want to be the type of partner that isolates someone from a friend, but I want to set a boundary. I am not sure what that boundary needs to be because, based on my initial reaction, my boyfriend said he will just stop hanging out with Thomas, and I said I am not asking him to do that. I explained to him that if I had someone who had a crush on me sleep over regularly, he would feel weird about that, and he agreed. I really do not know how to handle the situation and feel like I almost sound homophobic setting boundaries after Thomas just came out. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. This is just basic relationship boundaries. You don't have people sleeping over who are openly sexually interested in you and or your partner unless you're into that. Commenter 2. Going to echo this. My good friend came out to me and then a few weeks later told me he was into me. I am not gay or bi. I was also in a relationship at the time. I had to have a frank discussion with him. I asked him if we could be friends or if that would be too hard. He didn't think we could be friends, so we drifted apart for a while. Later, after he had come out to everyone and was actively dating, we reconnected and he told me that he knew I was safe and he confused that safety with mutual attraction. He also told me that while I am his type, he overstepped and apologized. We're now good friends. Setting boundaries isn't a bad thing. It can be healthy. Ops response. That's interesting and something I was taking into account as well, since Thomas is going through a lot of changes right now. My boyfriend is insanely kind and a great listener, so maybe Thomas is confusing some of his romantic feelings with safety. Commenter 3. I get the impulse to set a boundary, but it's not your place. It's his. Tell him you're uncomfortable, sure, but don't also set the rules. See what rule he sets and then talk about it. The rules will cause a wedge if you set them, but he'll thank you for supporting him if he sets the same rule for himself. Respect your partner's autonomy even though it's challenging here. Ops response. Thank you for this. One thing I love about our relationship is that we don't try to control each other and respect each other's lives outside of one another. I think my boyfriend can be a bit of a people pleaser and literally just laughed and said, "Sorry, I'm not into dudes," when Thomas confessed his feelings. I hope he has a deeper discussion with Thomas about these feelings he has and what that means for their friendship moving forward. Commenter 4. How could that be his best friend and he didn't know he was gay all this time? Ops response. I think Thomas played the straight guy for a long time. He's been married to a woman for like 8 years, so I guess it could have been overlooked. Update 3 days later. A few of you asked for an update, so here it goes. Some of you thought my boyfriend was secretly gay, some of you thought I was a controlling, paranoid bitch, but the majority of you told me I just needed to have a long talk with my boyfriend, and that's what I did. I work at a cafe a few blocks away from my boyfriend's place, and luckily they let me have an hour-long break. So, I got my boyfriend a breakfast sandwich and told him we really needed to talk about Thomas. He responded with, "Yes, we definitely do." I told him that I know he's not a cheater and I don't think anything would happen between the two of them, but Thomas always sleeping over when I'm unavailable is making me uncomfortable. He told me Thomas was making him uncomfortable too and that he just hadn't taken the time to process all of this. He told me he had a story from his childhood that he was deeply ashamed of. Basically, his good childhood friend came out to him freshman year and also said he had feelings for him. He responded very badly and told him to never talk to him again. He said his friend ended up quitting sports and becoming severely depressed, and when he tried to apologize after high school, the friend told him he did not accept it. My boyfriend had tears in his eyes telling me this and said he will never forgive himself for acting so cruelly. He then broke down the exact conversation he had with Thomas. He said he was telling Thomas about a fun day we had at this local fair and how, on the Ferris wheel, he was looking at me and realized he wants to spend the rest of his life with me. He said Thomas gave him a strange look and told him he needed to tell him something. Thomas told him that the reason he's getting divorced is because he's gay and was never attracted to his wife. That's when he proceeded to tell my boyfriend that he is insanely attracted to him and that he's his exact type of man. My boyfriend said he tried to respond in the exact opposite way of his freshman self and just thanked him for being honest and open about himself. My boyfriend told me he realizes he should have told him explicitly that he doesn't feel the same but figured he would know that based on the way he talks about me. One thing I had completely forgotten about is that Thomas is technically his boss now. I remember us all celebrating his promotion but didn't put it together that he was his boss now. My boyfriend told me he felt pressure to still let him crash all the time at his place because of his divorce, and he tried to just pretend he didn't admit having feelings for him for the sake of their friendship. My boyfriend then had a talk with Thomas, and it didn't go well. He told Thomas that he would never have those feelings for him and that the sleepovers feel kind of weird now. Thomas blamed me and started calling me a controlling, abusive partner, but my boyfriend shut it down and told him that this was all coming from him and he should just start looking for his own apartment in the city. Later that night, I got a phone call from Thomas. I could tell he had been drinking a lot, but I hoped he was calling to apologize or at least compromise. That was not the case. He started off by saying that my boyfriend could do so much better than me and that I'm just a scrappy gold digger. My boyfriend and Thomas work in finance and I work at a cafe, so yes, my boyfriend makes a lot more money than me, but I still pay my own way in life. Thomas went on to say my boyfriend should be with someone in the same tax bracket as him and then told me, "You're really not as pretty as you think, and you dress like a poor person." It pissed me off, so I told him he sounded like a snob douchebag and he's only saying this because my boyfriend basically rejected him. He then told me that if he had made a move at the right time, he could have convinced my boyfriend to cheat, which I found insanely creepy. He then started going off on a misogynistic rant about how women are just trying to trap all the attractive men and we are all horrible, etc. I ended up hanging up on him. I immediately called my boyfriend, and he was pissed. I've actually never heard my boyfriend so mad, but he told me that Thomas is a creepy weirdo and he feels so gross that he was best friends with him for years. I told him he might want to have a talk with HR just to be safe so that Thomas doesn't retaliate, and that the whole thing is insanely inappropriate, especially because he's his boss. I feel so bad for my boyfriend because he's lost his best friend and now his job will be effing weird at the very least. The thing about my boyfriend is he loves his job and takes it very seriously. At first, I felt like part of this was my fault, but after reflecting, I'm happy I brought it to light because it sounded like Thomas was basically planning to sexually assault my boyfriend after a drunken night. My boyfriend has been sad today and took the day off, and I really wish I could fix things. I think he's nervous about work, and I don't blame him, but it breaks my heart seeing him like this. We did take my dog to the beach, and my dog is such a goof, and my boyfriend was laughing a lot, so that was good. Thank you, everyone, for all the advice, and I really wish things didn't play out this way. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. This is just about how I expected it to play out. Been there, done that, but I did get essayed by my very good friend and was never able to tell the girl I was dating at the time that it happened. I've seen similar things happen with other friends. Your boyfriend is not wrong for wanting to be a good friend, but unfortunately, it seems Thomas was hiding a lot more about his personality and intentions than just the fact that he was gay. I'm happy that you were able to have such open and honest conversations with your boyfriend about the situation, and that bodes well for your future together. Ops response. I'm so sorry that happened to you, and I'm so glad we stopped Thomas before it got to this point. Commenter 2. Girl, I'm so happy for you because, like a lot of us said, the whole sleeping over thing was the perfect opportunity for something sexual to happen between them, whether your boyfriend consented or not. Letting someone who admitted to having feelings for him sleep at his house, with alcohol involved, is the perfect recipe for something crazy to happen. Thomas is a effing predator. He doesn't deserve the kindness you guys showed him when he came out. You guys need to check on his ex-wife. I feel so bad for her. Plus, she might be of help when, not if, but when Thomas starts messing with your boyfriend's job. Ops response. Thank you. I'm also happy that nothing happened in those regards, but it literally crushes my heart seeing my boyfriend so sad and nervous. My boyfriend is genuinely one of the kindest people I have ever met, and he says he feels like such an idiot now. They were best friends for like 5 years, so he has a lot to process, and I am honestly super worried about what work is going to be like for him on Monday. Commenter 2. Did you record the call when Thomas called you? Please save every single text and record every single conversation you have with him from now on. He thought he could guilt and pressure, with him being his boss and all, your boyfriend into being intimate with him. That's disgusting behavior. Ops response. I didn't record the call, and I really wish I had. I genuinely assumed he was going to apologize, and it all just caught me off guard. Thomas has blocked us on everything, so there really isn't much evidence of his gross behavior.